In today's gospel, the Lord has shared with us the parable of the wheat and the weeds. I remember some time ago, the Franciscan sisters in St. Teresa's convent invited me for a Holy Mass with them. And as many sisters do, after the Holy Mass, they invited me for breakfast. And you know what they served? Meaticus. And they asked me, Father, why this is called meaticus? Look at the noodles. They look like rats' tails. I did not tell them that actually I'm afraid of rats, but I enjoyed the breakfast still. And for dessert, one of the sisters brought out this kind of fruit called mata kucing. And they asked me, Father, why we call this mata kucing? Look, they look like cat's eyes. And after that, I went back to the priest's house, and while I was driving, I was telling myself, hey, I have ticus and kucing in my tummy. I have rats and cats in my stomach. I hope they would not fight inside. Otherwise, I would need to rush to a tandas toilet. Because of that breakfast, now I know that rats and cats can actually live together. But come to think of it, isn't that what life here on earth is? Cats and rats living together. We have the good people and the not so good people, the bad people, living together. The weeds and the wheat. The saintly ones together with the sinful ones. All around us. And even inside us. Remember that friendly neighbor of yours? When I was still in Fuchao, my neighbors there, they're very kind and generous to me. They have a store that sells pao and tarts, etc. And from time to time, I get a share. Now I miss them. Remember that kind relative of yours, whenever you are in need, he is someone you go to. And always he has something to offer you. Remember that classmate of yours? He is a good friend, very generous to you, sharing his snacks, even his right answers during exams. We have these people around us, the saintly ones. They are the wheat among us. But isn't it there are also these people who are not that kind to us? Some are really even very bad to us. Remember that neighbor of yours, inconsiderately honking even late at night? Remember that classmate of yours that is a bully? Remember that relative of yours who even spread bad rumors about you, though it's not true. There are even some people who are really intentionally doing harm to others. Maybe for their own benefit, they take advantage of other people. They are the sinful among us, the weeds around us. Today's gospel is telling us that in this world of ours, we have the saintly and the sinful, and both God allows to live together. Maybe sometimes we find ourselves saying, Lord, why do you allow these bad things, bad people, bad situations to linger? Can you not just do away with them all and make this place a better place for everyone, a holy place for everyone? Can you not make these people, these evil people, suffer right away? Punish them, please. Be careful what you wish for. You might find yourself saying afterwards, hey, Lord, why am I having stomachache right now? I think finally the cats and the rats are fighting inside. Lord, why am I suffering? To which the Lord will reply, well, isn't it? That's what you were praying for. You want evil people to suffer. Do you think you are purely good? Aren't you evil as well at times? There you have it. Sinful people suffering.
Today's good news is this, that our loving and saving God gives opportunities to both the saintly and the sinner to linger, for the bad to repent and be good, and for the good to even get better. After reading today's gospel, the parable of the wheat and the weeds, this story came to my mind. It's pure fiction, okay? I'm just making this up. I hope the evangelist Matthew wouldn't mind. I was wondering what happened after the parable ends with the master telling the servants, no, don't pull out the weeds. Let them grow together. Come harvest time, that's when you bundle the weeds and burn them. That's when you gather the wheat and bring them into my barn. Now here's a possible continuation of the story. Days passed, weeks, maybe even months. Harvest time came, and The servants, upon going to the fields to do the harvest as the master has told them to, they were very surprised because they found no more weeds. All wheat. The whole fields were filled with wheat everywhere. What happened? They were wondering, where are the weeds? You know what actually happened? After the master has spoken to his servants, he went to the field himself and approached all the wheat. And he told them, wow, I'm very happy for you. You are my wheat. You make me so proud. The good seeds I planted are now bearing fruits in you. Keep up the good work. Yeah? I bless you even more. But the master also approached the weeds and spoke to them also from his heart, telling them, oh, poor you. I pity you. You are just weeds. But you know what? It's those who hate me that has caused this. But for me, I don't hate you. You are still mine. I love you. I care for you. I am here to cure you. Would you like me to turn you into wheat? I hope you would. Would you like your brothers, sisters who are wheat be my instruments to influence you, to make you wheat as well? I hope you would. And so it happened. Due to the Master's loving, saving touch, the wheat, their goodness has grown even bigger. Their influence has become so great. And the weeds, who allowed the Master to touch them, who allowed their brother, sister weeds to influence them, they have become weeds no more. You might say, oh, that's not possible, Father. Weeds will always be weeds. No farmer can transform weeds into wheat. Probably you're right. No farmer can. No human person can. But I don't think God cannot. In fact, history has shown us that there are a lot of saints, they were sinners before. Fiction? I think it's a fact. God has been transforming a lot of weeds into wheat. We have the example of the betrayer Peter, who has become the rock, the foundation of our church. We have the example of the sinful Mary Magdalene, who has become a faithful disciple of the Lord, apostle to the apostles. We have the example of the persecutor Paul, turned into that zealous apostle. We have so many other examples of big sinners transformed into even bigger saints. There is no contention to this, that it is never God who is the cause of evil, but He allows evil to linger. Because in His wisdom, power, and love, there is salvation to everyone. May you and I be a living, factual example of that. Let the saintly in you and me be God's instruments for the sinners inside us and around us to be transformed from weed into wheat. You know, here is a true story which I remember. There is this priest, I saw a video about him during COVID time. He came up with a program to feed the hungry, to give shelter to the homeless, to the poor people in the streets of Manila, including those who are living in vices, the drug addicts and other persons who are bad people. And yet, he, together with his companions, the volunteers and the donors, they were all welcoming them. While other people are killing these drug addicts, this priest, together with his companions, they were sheltering them, providing them with a decent meal, a place to stay, and even giving them personality development programs and skills training. It's so inspiring to see this priest and the transformation that he has brought about to these people. And when a reporter was asking him, Father, what inspired you to think of this beautiful program? And he, with all sincerity and humility, shared, you know, years ago, I was a drug addict myself. God has given me a second chance. God has transformed me. Now I would like to be God's instrument to give second chances to these people, to transform them as well. Lord, there is this sinner in me. Transform me too. Today's good news. Let the sinner in you be transformed by the saintly in you. Then and only then can you be able to transform the sinners around you. Today's gospel is entitled The Parable of the Wheat and the Weeds. But maybe a better title could be The Parable of the Wheat Transforming the Weeds. May that be a reality in us. May that be a reality around us. Let us allow God to do so and partner with Him in doing so. Just a final thought. The wheat and the weeds may not only be likened to persons, it can also be likened to situations. What are the good situations in your life? They are like wheat, right? And what are the bad situations in your life? They are like weeds. May the good situations in our lives, the good things that are happening to us, the blessings that we see around us, may they be big enough to be able to transform the bad and the sad situations that are happening in our lives. The goodness in the family, the love that the family has for one another, may it overpower the material poverty that is being experienced by that family. May the care that you have for your grandparents and the care they have for you overpower the difficulty, the pain of aging, the hurt of feeling sick and old. What are the difficult situations in your lives? The painful ones, the bad ones. What are the good situations in your lives? May the wheat in us and around us be God's instruments to transform the weeds inside us and around us.